Oh shit. Hey guys, it's me T coming at you with what is going on here? Ah, thank you. Okay. We're literally going to post a sorry, I'm a bit all over the place today. But we're gonna go with it. So welcome. Let's just start over. Welcome, and I don't know how to X out the beginning of it, so I'm sorry that all of that went down. But you know, imperfection is the beauty of life. And what was I gonna say? And so what I want, I was just thinking, and I'm the one that rounds it up sometimes, like in terms of just having to fucking get through it, you know what I'm saying? But, I'm not even trying to cause it, but trying to fucking just get through it, like wrangle it, or even, or what's the word called? Strangle it. What was I going to say? So, oh, we're not doing these cards. Okay, so, but it's all about the accepting PS. So, you just got to accept what is and move on with what you literally will not fucking tolerate. What was I going to say? So, we're definitely needing these mediumship cards today. That is for sure. So these cards that I'm working with today is Talking to Heaven by James Van Praagh, 44 cards in this oracle deck. We need its healing, for sure. We need its cleanliness, for sure. You know what I'm saying? Its direction. Alright, so let's get right into it. The highest and best yin card. Ooh, that flipped out. Is this the one? Is this the one? Okay. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, awesome. One just flipped out for me, which I absolutely needed, so it's a good thing. Is this the highest and best one, 18? Do we take this as the highest and best one? Alright, so I'm going to put that one back in. Okay. Let me just, maybe I didn't wake up the cards. Give me 1 second, because I'm not even that much awake yet, but I was told to do the cards, so I'm doing them. Okay? Because God forbid any fucking distractions. God for fucking bid today. Okay, highest best yin card. So we got that yin card. Highest best yin card. Thank you. Are we doing midway happy way? Okay. Yeah, we need a midway happy way today too. So beautiful. This is really nice. Okay, so midway happy way is, it is beautiful where I am. And immediately I just wanted to say that that where you are is where you're supposed to be, and where you are just got a whole lot better. Okay? That is so what I clearly wanted to say there is that's an affirmation for today. It is beautiful where I am. So just know also that if you are a person that is like me, that absolutely fucking loves and adores and really cares for and maintains beauty, you are the beautiful person where you're supposed to be, and you're the one that adds beauty to where it's beautiful where you are, right? So I just wanted you to know that. Out of this card, the sun is rising. So the whole thing is, it really could be, and by the way, I'm sorry I didn't even do an intro because I'm all over the place. So this reading, just so you guys know, is for basically, what is it? It's what are we? Oh my gosh, I didn't even realize. Are we in Saturday? We're on, yeah, Saturday. So this is 3:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today into Sunday, 3:00 Eastern Standard Time, and those dates would be 13 to 14, one of my most magical dates. So 13th to the 14th, And what else did I want to say there? And yeah, 3 p.m. to 3 p.m. as like like a nice wave there. And what else did I want to say? Hold on one second. I feel like I have to turn on the lights. Give me 1 second. Talk about letting the sun in. So do whatever you got to do to let the sun in, whether it be fake or, you know, just opening up the blinds or something along those lines. And also Spirit wanted me to say that something has been healed since last night. So I just want to say that the rise of the sun today is the rise of joy, and it's literally a high vibrational, even though it might not seem like it. But if it doesn't seem like it, also do your best to kind of do whatever it takes to support the sun joyous vibes today, in terms of, you know, dedicating yourself to being positive, but also the real type of positive. And dedicating yourself to being really real as well, which is like, because people don't realize the sun also is like when you're real with yourself, in terms of like if you're not feeling 100%, you know, happy or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Then literally like that is the sun, to just accept that you're not that right now, you know what I'm saying? And so once you're willing to accept it, and you state that claim, I accept it, then things can change, and you can actually clear out that clutter within yourself and make some moves, and literally just leave the situation that you're at, or make it better, whatever it's supposed to be. And what I wanted to add myself there is, all too many people that are of the good tend to have the self-sabotaging essence within themselves, that they are bothering other people. That's been coming up a lot. They're bothering people by being where they are, or they're not, you know, so it's like those self-sabotaging fucking ideas that actually need to be decluttered, is why I wanted to go there. There's also like, you know, people that add to the whole environmental aspect of life, like wholesomely, totally, completely, 100%edly, that literally like are never, they're always not always, but I'm just gonna say they're most likely the ones to be shunned for their light. That needs to be decluttered out of my system. And don't worry, I got water here, if you were worried. And I feel like last night that was the final, like there was a final straw that happened. So that's a good thing. So with that decluttering, we let the sun rise, do its thing. We let it shine. Also, what I'm sensing is that there was a lot being surrendered to the God, which is the sun god, right? So I feel like a lot of what you no longer could handle, or no longer were willing to even partake in, like what you walked away from, literally was given to the God to burn that shit away, right? And then to bring on the new, which is today, right? That's what we're, today into tomorrow. Also, I didn't mention the day that today is helpful people in travel. The color is gray, and the material is a metal, okay? For Sunday, the feng shui day that I themed it up in regards to is career. So the color is blue and black. Black majority than the blue, but it's like a midnight black. So or midnight, I meant to say midnight blue, not midnight black. So yeah, the colors for Sunday are black, first and foremost, and then midnight blue, in terms of like its sidekick. Okay, so amen to today. It is beautiful where I am. That is your affirmation for today. In case you're working with, in case that's the real deal, that's something for you to know, or in case if it's not, you know what I'm saying, that's an affirmation you're going to repeat to yourself. Just like, what that reminded me of? Back in the 90s with Family Matters, where the father Carl would be like, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, or whatever the fuck. He literally would be like, count down, and then 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. So it's kind of like that. It's like if you're in that moment, if you're having that moment, you just keep on saying, it's beautiful where I am. It's beautiful where I am. That definitely wasn't verbatim because I don't remember it at all, but it just came to me in terms of like how he did it. It was hilarious. He needed a lot of those breather moments, that is for sure. And maybe that's also for you dads out there, because I feel like Carl did that when dads kind of have a lot of pressure on them, you know what I'm saying, to be the leader of the, and actually it's not even just dads. I feel like it's dads, but it's also those that are possibly even thinking that they have to take the role of the father, which is fucking, it's all whacked out, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm all about teamwork, because of the fact that those traditional roles are beautiful, but at the same time, we're all human and we can't really do everything that is, we can't really just have a lot on our plate, is what I'm trying to say. I'm a minimalist, so I keep things to like, let's get shit done and let's get it off my plate. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I function, but also, and then like to enjoy my life a little bit more through it and also after it extra, So the whole thing is, it's like we all need to help each other get more into alignment with teamwork and joy, of doing it. Making it fun, turning on music, you know what I'm saying? But then also getting shit done and making sure that like it doesn't just fall on one person's back or shoulders or however you call it. So what was I gonna say? So the yin card of the day in terms of, after 3 p.m. today would be, life is a series of choices, choose love. Now, it's interesting because love can come in the most weirdest fucking way. And everybody thinks that it's like, oh, choose love, you know what I'm saying? And have it be all light and airy, which is beautiful, you know what I'm saying? But the whole thing is, love also comes in the most weirdest ways in terms of strictness, in terms of what's it called? In terms of like protectiveness is what wanted to come out first and foremost. So the whole thing is, it's like when you're living life, life is a series of choices, choose love. First of all, life is a series of choices, and that's been a very big deal in the past couple of days, I feel. So I'm so glad that we did this, that we worked with this card deck, because there might be something in your going on, either in your world or in your system, or something that happened in your world affecting, or that tried to affect your system. I'm going to just say that life is a series of choices, choose love. Like maybe somebody's thinking, oh, they're showing up and choosing love, but really that's the second thing, right? Choose love is the second thing. The first is, life is a series of choices, and that's what we have to, especially, I'm going to say especially women, but it may pertain to all humans, but women especially need to realize that, first, we're tired just to begin with. Like, that just kind of is a given, right? So you have to come to agreement to understand that other people going through what they're going through, even if they're asking for help, life is a series of choices. So, and when I'm saying other people, I'm saying other people outside of your family, because there has been so much coming at me too, even prior to what I went through last night, that I was like, it was such a family oriented type of ordeal that was coming at me. And so I was like sifting through a lot of family judgments and family this and family that, and it was just very interesting, like all the type of like bullshittery, you know what I'm saying, that one has to deal with when they really are a good person doing good or trying to do good, and yet, you know, it's not, what was I going to say? Not that it's not I guess it's not recognized. I'm going to just say it. But also, I'm not the type of person that needs recognition. I just need you to know, I just need you to act out of appreciation. So the whole thing is, and the whole thing is, it's like, and that might be like so high and mighty on my high horse, but like, again, I'm all about that teamwork. And if you don't show that shit, whether it's in your family, which is a type of team, and or at work, which is a type of team, you're gonna get soggy results. Is what I'm getting, soggy, like where it's like it's floppy, it's disgusting, it's gross, it's like, you know, maybe it might even smell because you can't fucking clean it up. It's messy. So my whole thing is, it's like, that's first and foremost. So whatever, I'll get back to that in a second. But what I wanted to say is, or what's coming through, I don't know, whatever. Life is a series of choices. We women have to realize that when we see other people that are down, not in our family, okay? And I mean this in terms of neighbors as well. That if we see, hold on one second, thank you, Spirit, I answer your call in my left ear, I appreciate that. Okay, so anyhow, if we see people around us that are down, right, and are asking for our help, whether it be in whatever the fuck ways that they ask for help, right, you have to realize that life is a series of choices. People make their own caring treatment in this life. Like, what's that saying? You make your own bed and you lie in it. Like, that's the type of shit. Like, so the whole thing is, we have to realize that first and foremost. So we're not here to be fucking heroes. It's actually, like, my whole thing is, yes, women are super strong, we're superheroes, blah, blah, blah. But my whole thing is, it's like, let the guys be a superhero. It's more of a guy thing, okay? Like, we just need to fucking be ourselves. We just need to be, you know, tuned into fucking intuition and just do life the way that we need to do life, and let the guys be the superheroes. You know what I'm saying? And we'll have our time to shine whenever. It's just my whole thing is like patience, you know? Our job is patience, put it that way. But also, so that's the step one, is life is a series of choices. Be very cognizant, very observant to what the fuck is going on in other people's worlds because of their choices, okay? So that's number one. And if their fucking choices suck outwardly, like if it seems to really fucking suck outwardly for them, then you just send them love, and you choose love by sending them love, right? You don't have to actually do anything. The females aren't the doers. We're the fucking quote unquote gatherers, which means we absorb the fucking, we basically absorb the energy. And I'm not going to say absorb, but we take it in, we understand it, we kind of mull it over, kind of like as if we're like, you know, kneading dough or whatever, bread dough. And then we fucking spread that shit back in terms of major blessings, and like thinking about them and putting out really good, joyous vibes for them to fucking get through what they need to get through. You know what I'm saying? And that's the way that I'm going to say that's the highest and best way to choose love, rather than the traditional way of, oh, you know, they're going through hard times, choose love. It's like, no, bitch, like, you have to think about yourself in terms of where are your what is it called, resources coming from. You know what I'm saying? Do you have enough to even put resources to resource? You know what I'm saying? To then, it's super wild to me. It's super wild. And then like the people, and as I'm just touching these cards, where they make it beautiful where you are, they get shunned out because they're the ones making the decisions for not only themselves and the matter of the matter at hand, but then also for the for the family at whole, right? So my whole thing is like they get shitted on for fucking actually just doing the right thing. And I'm going to say by the wrong person because of the fact that it's just not right at the end of the day, but that's a beautiful thing as well because of the fact that you make it more beautiful where you are when you are observant to other people's actions. So that's exactly, so basically if something shitty happens, you know which way to pivot and make it more beautiful in terms of where you are at in your life, who you are on the inside, how you're going to sift through, because I can definitely say that there might have been before and even after this, this Aquarius full moon, there might literally have been so much back and forth confusion, right? And this full moon is now getting rid of this confusion. It's a part of the decluttering process. So the whole thing is, it's like, you know, you choose love also. Oh, this is basically what, this is good. Choosing love also means choosing love within your actions. So like when you do something, like divine feminines need to do shit on a smaller level. We're just the yin. We're regular yin energy. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to say regular, but we're naturally yin energy. So if you can do small things in a really joyous, loving, happy way, you are uplifting your own life and situation and other people around you, and then beyond that, right? So my whole thing is, that's how you need to be choosing love and not really helping others at this point, because the whole thing is that with I feel like if the world has not changed yet, the world is changing. And the reason why I'm saying this is I'm such a big believer in, like, literally not holding on to your energy as hostage, but like more so preserving your energy so that you can have it to where it fucking matters. You want a project, you want a dream to come true, you're gonna preserve your fucking energy, and you're gonna basically put it all your energy towards that. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna be wishy-washy. You're not gonna be, you know, spread too thin. Like, that doesn't help anybody. That also is not healthy. It's not healthy at all. So, so that's the whole thing. So this fucking card reading is phenomenal when it came down to what I fucking went through yesterday. So the explanation is real at this point. It's not even just like, okay, like, here's what it is. It's beautiful, actually. I'm very grateful. So, Also, what I want to say here is choosing love. You might be seeing hearts. Choosing love is also something where you have to water your own grass to make it greener. Okay, this is, and I feel like with this Aquarius full moon, like maybe somebody's love is like just kind of held hostage type, like in the clouds somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe you're dealing with an airy fairy person that can't really show love or whatever, and it's fine. So what I'm saying is like an air sign, right? You could be dealing with an air sign in terms of just battling out like different types of love and which one is really necessary in the situation. And the whole thing is, where the two meet is literally like in the sky, like they're like, it's in the purity of the clouds, you know, like but like the ones that kind of, there's clouds, but then there's like, you know, the clouds that kind of look like they touch the grass. So it's kind of like the clouds up above the clouds that touch the grass, and then the grass. So somebody might be really grounded and may have literally made their grass a whole lot greener where they live. And then there's that, you know, like wisp of like, you know, clouds that touch the grass type of thing. And then there's somebody that really is the ones that is quote unquote choosing love is like all like what I wanted to come out is high and mighty in the clouds, right? So the whole thing is, it's like, and neither of them are wrong, right? But there is a wrong essence to it in terms of where they like, where like basically like there's no connection, there's no like meeting in the middle, right? And I want to say probably the person that chooses love in terms of the purity, like, you know, young-heartedness of it all, is not, like, again, is not wrong, and I believe in that too, but there's also a way to, and I feel like this is a lot of the angels too. It's like there's like so many different stories coming through. It's like I feel like the person that you're dealing with is up in the clouds and they're more of love and they want to see love here on earth, which is fine, right? But also it's not about what you, thank you, Spirit, this is exactly what I want to say. Love is not about what you think love is. Love is to be used according to the situation at hand. That is exactly what's coming out. So like my whole thing is it's allowing you the flexibility. So like, and the bottom line rule for us ladies is to be a no fucking person first and foremost. You know what I'm saying? And if you're not a no person, the way that you would handle it is patience, right? Because we're all about patience too. So give yourself the gift of patience, which is also love, first and foremost, before saying yes to anybody else. And literally just say, hey, can I take a minute? If somebody approaches you, it says, you know, and if let's say you're not the strongest person, you're not the person, which pisses me off because there's people out there that fucking know that literally there are yes women out there and they prey upon them, right? And they turn to them to ask. So it's kind of like a little kid trying to get their way, which is like, oh, I'm gonna go to dad, and if dad says no, I'm gonna go to mom. But like the whole thing is, it's like there's some fucking kids out there who are adults actually who know the fucking game already and just go straight for the fucking kill, which is go straight to mom who says, or go straight to the parent who is gonna say yes, and they get their way. You know what I'm saying? And my whole thing is, when it comes down to life is a series of choices, choose love. This is exactly a learning lesson of where two people who have different versions of love or follow different versions of love can come together in terms of, yeah, it might look cloudy, might look confused. But if a woman literally is approached and asked to do something or asked for a favor, and and just feels like she's not strong enough to say no, all you have to say is, hey, okay, that sounds great, thank you so much. Pretend as if they fucking called you on the phone, you know what I'm saying? And just say, let me get back to you in a few minutes. You know, can I take a few minutes to just think about it? Like, no one's gonna fucking attack you. No one's gonna say no, because actually that makes you more in control. And the whole thing is, it's like sometimes when we're talking about teamwork and team efforts and communication about it, even if you don't fucking like who you are, you know, in the house with, you put your fucking shit to the side in terms of how a person might react, and you just fucking talk about it. You get it off of your selfish motherfucking spirit. You get it off of your spirit. You get it off of your soul. And you just say, hey, let me ask you, can I just throw something your way? Or you could even preface it with, I already know what you're going to say, but can we just think about this? Like, it's basically, you're paving the way for a fucking conversation where it's like, yeah, this is going to be a hard conversation to have because you're reactive, but the whole thing is, I'm still going to bring it up anyway. Like, we need that type of courage. Like, we absolutely need that type of courage in any of our fucking circulations that we're about. Like, whether it's like I said, teamwork at work, teamwork at home within a family, teamwork between partnerships, like, that needs to be said. And I actually ran into somebody online who said that him and his wife did not fight for like 8 years because they prefaced everything. That's what they did. And the whole thing is, it's like sometimes the prefacing something is a part of the communication, where it's like, okay, I know you're going to react this way. I know you're going to be emotional about it this way. I know you already kind of know what is to come, but you're like overcoming it just by fucking addressing it. Like just by like nailing it, claiming it. You know what I'm saying? Like however you want to fucking see it, you know? So it's kind of like you're pushing that to the side to be like, okay, I'm not going to be afraid of that part. I just want an answer, yes or no, or should we do this, or what are your thoughts on it? That's it. You're basically asking for a person not to be emotional about the subject at hand. We just have to get down to like business, which is down to a, you know, solution or a conclusion, and that's how you deal with shit. Like, it's nothing so fucking big, right? But I'm going to tell you something right now. The grounded person, of which is the healer, okay? Essentially, because they are solid within and of themselves, and they've been watering their own grass type of thing, you know, throughout like life, and like doing the work and doing the, you know, the growth work and the change work and the transformation work. They're actually winner. They're the winner. That's what I sense right away. It's like they are the winner because they, like, even though it's like equal opportunity, there is one that is judging the situation by what actually it is, rather than the whole dreamy aspect of what love is, right? And first and foremost, down here, it's like super beautiful to be of the dreamy factor, which is of the youthful factor, right? Like when I say youthful, I mean like a purity, right? There's that purity way that we look at love, and not to say that a grounded way to look at love is impure. It's just different, you know? And my whole thing is, and both are pretty healthy, but the way that they meet in the middle might be a little fucking cloudy today. You know what I'm saying? And it might be confusing. But that's how you kind of come together, is you fucking just say, you give your closest beings, the respect to literally have a say in what the hell is happening, okay? And especially so when you're grieving, especially so when there's like a loved one that is, it was lost recently, especially so you have to kick this into gear. You know what I'm saying? And so that's basically what it is. Now this Yang card, which is fucking phenomenal in terms of like where it's pulling me, the Yang card for Sunday pretty much is, or for the morning of Sunday, is don't be afraid. Now the whole thing is, here's the it is beautiful where I am is the midway happy way, because whoever is the happiest person in the fucking bunch of what we're talking about is literally doing the protecting, knowing that it is beautiful where they are. They know how to make the grass greener in their life and in their just emotional being and just emotional self, and radiate that. And by the way, when you're a female and you do the inner work and you radiate that shit, that's enough. That's enough. It's like it's enough work for thank you, Spirit. That was a confirmation. It's enough work to literally just radiate your fucking joy, because we and I know it's like high and mighty to say that too, but you don't understand. If you haven't done the work, you don't understand how much work it fucking takes. So the whole thing is, it's like, let us fucking be, right? And the person that is kind of the medium, also the mediator, the medium, that type of person that like has figured out how to make their life beautiful where they are, and has done that over and over and over again, and is known for that even, or is not even known for it, but could be like cited, is what what also wanted to come out, cited for what it is. They are the ones that are actually like, they're the ones that actually are seeing this, the scenario for what it is, right? And the whole thing is why I'm why I'm going backwards for a second, is the Yang card meant for Sunday morning is don't be afraid, okay? And so this is such a, I might have to read the fucking book on this because this is huge. But what's amazing is actually that don't be afraid also has a lot to do with, like, the colors of it are exactly the colors of, like, your career. So maybe there's something going on with your career that you want to kind of lift off, and you want to kind of put out there, but or like maybe you want to get yourself to a place where you want to put yourself out there a little bit more. So just don't be afraid. Maybe it's like starting new, since today it says it's beautiful. It is beautiful where I am. It's like maybe you've done the decluttering work within and of yourself to then finally, replace all those fears with faith, and in terms of doing something brand new that would fucking scare you. You know what I'm saying? So maybe then maybe it would be the right time to do so. Also, what I'm seeing is, like, what I'm sensing is therapy work, okay? There is therapy work there. Maybe it's not even just therapy work. It's also whatever you choose to do on Sunday as in terms of you picking up as your career. Maybe a new career. You literally can be, what did I want to say there? You literally can be, it could be therapeutic for you. I think that's what I want to say. Healing for you, therapeutic for you. I'm literally seeing the word don't, but in terms of do and not, right? So what I also think is that on Sunday you may be going back and forth to do something or to do not do something. And the answer, I think, here is do it. Do it. And because the thing is, don't be afraid is a part of the entire message. So it's just like, do it. This is how I'm getting to transform it. Do it and be afraid. Like, do it and do it even with being afraid. Do it and also like kind of do it with the fear. Like, accept the fear. Thank you. That's what I wanted to say. Accept the fear and do it anyway. You know that saying? Yeah. Hold on one second. Let me see what else I'm picking up here. Oh, okay, interesting. There's huge waves happening here, right? So there's like a darkness to these waves where I'm gonna say that there might be, if you're a person that resonates with me and you are the beautiful where you are, you know, like you're the type of person that has that mentality, it is beautiful where I am, and you're that positive, there might be something tomorrow, where you literally are, your emotions get stirred, and they get stirred in a very like large and in charge way, because it looks really stormy in this card, okay? And the whole thing is, there's a lot of energy that goes into that type of don't be afraidness, okay? Where, you know, we're all human, we're all going to be afraid of doing the fucking most simplest things. But I'm very grateful for this card popping out, because I'm going to tell you that there's going to be something that you might be afraid to do, and might not have to do with your career, but it might have to do with who it is that you are, but it also might help your career in the future, right? I always say this just to keep in mind, where this card says don't be afraid, I'm telling you to do whatever you think you need to do, even with being afraid, because at the end of the day, it is part of your inner work, and it's the part of the work that if you do it, you get stronger, right? And like sometimes a lot of us don't feel like, I'm gonna tell you right now, this is probably for the people that don't feel strong at all ever, because they're just kind of like, yo, leave me the fuck alone, that's all I need this world to do a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But the whole thing is, you know, you're gonna be your soul is gonna be called to do things in different scenarios of which you don't think you need to fucking do, but really at the end of the day something kicks in and you just have to do it, and you're like, literally it's like a calling for you to do it. So the whole thing is, it's like, you know, the card says don't be afraid, but then also go and attack it, you know what I'm saying? And it could be such a big thing where you're pissed off at it. And again, we're in Aquarius full moon. Aquariuses naturally are fucking frustrated people. They really are. Like they just get pissed off of like the most, like what some would say would be the smallest thing, but they get so livid over the smallest fucking shit, you know? And so my whole thing is, but they're not in the wrong too, because they're created out of love, right? So like some people could be like, oh, they're crazy, they don't like this, it doesn't matter. No one's really that crazy when they're fucking made the way that they are, right? So the whole thing is, it's like we're in Aquarius full moon. So basically, if we could picture it this way, Aquarius is doing the fucking decluttering. Aquarius does not play the fuck around. So it's either you're gonna fucking listen up, you're gonna do what needs to be done, you know what I'm saying? Or everything's gonna get thrown the fuck out. Like it's like that type of energy, like throwing out the baby with the bathwater type of thing, you know? It's phenomenal to me how I can think of these things, like the idioms, like when I'm channeling, but actually when you're talking to me, I always have to figure out what the fuck they are. I still do, but it's so funny that it comes to me in that way. But so the whole thing is, it's like, you know, you're basically being, so you could be a super peaceful person, like both of these cards are super fucking like chill and peaceful, right? But then comes the fucking storm, and you also could be feeling very peaceful like vibes, like yesterday into today or today into tomorrow. Probably for the collective it's gonna be today into tomorrow, where you could be feeling really chill vibes, like just like, you know, just like you know, just like calm, you know what I'm saying, calm energy. But it could be, you know, if you're like me, or if you're like evolved like me in terms of mediumshipness and spirituality and all that shit, like you can literally be feeling this prior to today, which I went through, or you could be feeling it after, you know, like basically after 3 p.m. today. So and into tomorrow. So my whole thing is, when it comes down to it, the whole card. So what I was trying to say there before is like, this is like summoning, like from a peaceful person to get fucking from 0 to 72, which I call godlike frequencies. People like to say 0 to 60. I just chose 0 to 72. 72 is Hashem, bitches, you know what I'm saying? And no, I didn't sneeze. But what was I gonna say? But like, and God bless me if I did, you know, and whatever I do, you know. But honestly, it takes the people that can. So with the people that are peaceful, and they are confronted with a scenario that has to take them from 0 to 72. That shit takes so much energy out of them. But at the same time, if you're smart with your energy prior to, you can literally easily do this. Like, this somehow comes from you very easily, and you can literally be super accurate with what is going on. And also what's coming through powerfully is surveillance. You can literally be, like, this might have a lot to do with surveillance issues, so you might want to just kind of, you know, ears up to that. And also what I wanted to say was, it's very interesting because you could have also given over your power of surveillance prior to that whole don't be afraid scenario going on, to where, you know, you would have to quote unquote just be in control, be in the know what's going on, this and that. But really, there's nothing to be afraid of if you want to give that over, because sometimes when you're like hyper in surveillance mode or hyper in protective mode, it takes a lot out of you and you can't fucking relax. You know what I'm saying? So a part of like this reading is the calm before the storm. Like, you need to do whatever it takes in terms of communication with your God, the ruler of the universe. A destiny has been actually coming out a lot. Destiny, fate, whatever you see as your God, as your creator, the people that you communicate with, the people that you work with, like, whatever you need to do to get it out of your system, to just be of more relaxed vibes, like to decompress, you have to let it out of your system. You have to kind of pray about it. You have to be like, yo, take this from me and replenish it with better. Take this from me, replenish it with better. Like, every negative feeling that you fucking feel throughout your day, even if it's minimal, that needs to be fucking communicated to the God. If this isn't mine, God, take it from me. If this isn't mine, God, take like return back to sender. Like, there's so many different energies that could be fucking coming at you, especially as a female, but also as just a human, right? But females, so not I'm not going to say attractive, but I think we're just built that way because of our super powerful intuition. You know what I'm saying? So the whole thing here is, do what it takes to just be able to decompress wholesomely, totally, and completely until your fucking mind chatter shuts the fuck up a little bit, because sometimes it comes through the mind, sometimes it comes through feelings. And when it comes through the mind, you need to kind of address it quickly. You need to, attack it. Like, just not attack it in a negative way, but more so you have to just tell your mind to like literally just literally like not to tell your mind anything, but you have to be in control of your mind. That's what I want to say. And you literally, that has to be the way that it has to be if you want to fucking survive a little bit better in terms of being your own protective type of female, because females don't realize, but they have to use their energy for self-protection. And something that came through, hold on one second, let me think about it, because now there's two things coming through from the same scenario yesterday. I was listening to a podcast and somebody had said, first and foremost, I love what she said. She said, I never take my blessings for granted. And that has to be said forever. Okay, that's forever. That's permanently, prosperously, profitably, and forever and beyond it. So I am that type of person, right? And I feel as if we all need to be that way. So, and if you are not, which your actions will prove otherwise, you're going to be in the real negative situation with me. That is for sure. Like, I'm that type of like quote unquote strict teacher that really gives no fucks anymore. Like, I used to be of the beautiful type of like purity type of love thing where it's like, okay, it's all about love, like give whatever you can, and like, like just do the best. I still do the best that I can, because I think doing the best that you can literally is like meeting both versions of love halfway, in terms of tough love and also, the pure, both. I'm going to say the purity, I'm going to call it the youthful love, okay? Because that's what it is. Because they can be both pure. Even tough love can be of pure intention. You know what I'm saying? Pure positive intention. So, and honestly, those are the two types of love that I actually even fucking partake in. Like, I'm more definitely of the grounded type of love, but but it comes from the foundational belief that yes, in a perfect world, we really should all just fucking be of love and call it a fucking day. But at the same time, down here, there's people that don't fucking get that and that have to be reminded. And so what I'm saying is, on Sunday morning-esque or ish or whatever have you, Sunday morning, you might have to fucking show somebody how to fucking love better and how to, and I'm saying love better, but I really mean respect better, because there are boundaries that were set up and set forth in terms of not only are you showing a person to respect your fucking boundaries, but there's also another person that may be closer to you that you need to really redirect and like or assert your energy to basically explain to them that literally self-love is what you're fucking lacking. So there's people lacking in self-love around you. There's people lacking in respect of of just being using and abusing around you. And the whole thing is, if you're called to do so, which I believe that you probably will be, because obviously this card says don't be afraid, then you need to fucking make sure that you're very clear and concise with your communication, which is also another reason why I'm such a big person in terms of what's it called, literally, not only shielding your energy came through, but what's coming through? Hold on one second. Maybe I just have to laugh, because I think that's what it really does. It's like, and at the end, by the way, at the end of this, don't be afraid. You need to play some fucking comedy for yourself, and or express yourself through comedy writing, okay? Because even if you're not going to get up on stage, you need to fucking literally write about it, because it's just such deep sadness that you want to do something about it, and you wish you could do something about it, but you know that there's nothing that can be done. So the best case scenario is fucking write that shit down as comedy. Turn it the fuck around, transmute that shit, and that's the best way to do it. But what I wanted to say there was something coming through. Hold on. I mean, you're just gonna, I was a big person on, is it big component? I don't know. That doesn't sound right. Big person on, big fan of, preserving your energy, because again, preserving your energy helps you to be able to really, perform out and drive out and, act upon, your own self-respect. And self-respect is first and foremost, because if you had a lot of self-respect for yourself and you knew what it took, like kind of like how in this life, if you really take a look at this life, like you'll realize that really that whole saying of, there's no such thing as a free lunch, there really isn't, though. Everything costs something, unless you're self-sustaining so much where you're like growing your own shit, which is, and when I say shit, I mean like, growing your own, vegetables and things like that. So there is a possibility of being self-sustaining, which I'm all about. But my whole thing is, if you're not there, then you have to work on yourself. So it's kind of like you have to respect the food that you're given, right? Even if your goal, let's say, is to eat all organic, right? And you're just not there yet. It's okay to have the self-respect and to have the self-knowledge to say, hey, I'm not there yet. So you're being truthful with yourself, which is self-respect. And then you're saying you're not there yet, but you're not going to like go and be disrespectful and like spit on the food that you have now. Like you're going to say, no, thank you so much that this food is getting me through this fucking time. And that literally it's going to take me through, it's giving me the strength to power through to one day hop into a life where I literally get to just like, manage my own food in terms of growing it and, from A to Z, and so the whole thing there is like, self-respect is huge, because it takes you very far, and it really does help you with your goals as well, and hitting them and even furthering them out or whatnot. I just have to breathe, because it's a breather type of podcast today for sure. And like I said, anything that comes to you that, whether you're wishy-washy on it, in terms of Sunday, like, if you were to do the thing that you were afraid to do, or afraid to be, or that type of shit, the whole thing is, it's like, to literally, you might come down from it, like, going back and forth, like, should I have done it? Should I have not done it? Even the people that fucking advise their cards, literally, you know what I'm saying? Like, literally, like, get advice from their cards, rather. literally still go back and forth. Like, the cards could say yes, and still you're back and forth like, oh man, should I have done that? And that's only because you have self-compassion. You have compassion in general. You have like a conscience. So you're just like, fuck, like, should I have done that? I don't understand, you know, what the fuck. Or maybe, let's say, if you were to go follow through on it, and you would think that common sense wise, you would literally, like, it would only work one way, and then all of a sudden you're thrown a fucking, you know, you're thrown what do they call a twister ball, a spinner ball? I can't fucking remember. Whatever, you're thrown a curveball. Thank you. So you're thrown a curveball, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my god, like, what the fuck was it? Like who in their right mind would ever fucking do that against somebody who is literally is of the light, even though it is a glowing light. Okay, I own that for sure. Like, I'm not the typical light, I'm the glowing light. I'm that sun glow at the beginning of the day or at night, like the sunset glow. Like, I am not the, you know, the shine bright, you know, and actually that's a version of shining bright, but what I'm saying is, like, I'm not that typical, oh, sunshiny bright type of, you know, light. I'm literally like a glow, and I love glow in the dark shit. So it's like, there has to be darkness for there to be some fucking light, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's more so foundational, and also that is working off of my feminine energies. So there is that. I'm quote unquote like this darkness, but also it's because I work with the light on a natural note, that I'm okay with, you know, all the things that are like, don't be afraid, you know what I'm saying? Like, or the darkness or the storms, you know? So essentially you're going to be feeling a little bit of the calmness before the storm. And then there might be a little bit of a storm, but just know that in your, like, I love that saying so much. I'm attached to it. This saying that says, the storm is my glory. And maybe I shouldn't be so attached to it, because I'm not even trying to attract it. But when there is an imperfection in this life, of which I call a storm, or I get angry, and, you know, not to self-sabotage myself, or not to, like, you know, be down on myself, or not to be of what people like to call me a victimhood, which I don't understand. I don't understand how you could fucking be that. But you know what? This is what I do understand. People label things differently. And if you are a labeler, you are probably more in the right than what people are labeling you as. That's a fucking comedy joke, but that is fucking straight up the truth. If you haven't seen their house yet, and their shit isn't fucking labeled, you know what I'm saying? Then they definitely can't label your ass. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't even know what a label is sometimes. People are not emotionally in touch with themselves enough to then label what it is that they think is coming off of you. You know what I'm saying? I've learned that. And that's a beautiful learning. And if you can understand that, that literally will help you let go of a lot of shit. And so the whole thing is, yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of waters, like, so it's very interesting. I'm seeing like a lake, like a calm lake, like maybe so maybe you are the midway happy way of your family. Like, you're just like this beautiful setting where like the sun rises, and it's like, you know, over the trees, and like you're this like really calm lake, and you like to be calm, like you're not used to like being a fucking ocean, you know what I'm saying? But then all of a sudden something comes your way, and you're called to be an ocean, you know what I'm saying? And this ocean, not on its best behavior, but you're called to be like Mother Gaia, fucking angry as fuck, not giving a shit about what anybody else has to say. You know you're being guided by the God, by the number 72, all the fucking way. And so the whole thing is, and I'm going to call out the shots, number 72 is how I'm going to say God from this moment on, because amen, that is exactly how I'm gonna fucking say it. I need to get a jersey that says number 72. But anyhow, long story short, you know, this is a scenario that you're going to be called to be an ocean, and an angry ocean at that. Like one of the oceans that literally causes waves and causes rifts and maybe even breaks a motherfucking, what is it called? A pirate's boat, like that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna be like, I'm just sensing like there's these boulders, there's these obstacles, there's waves crashing. The storm is in the sky as well, so it's kind of like, but the whole thing is, what's beautiful about this card is that the water here is pure. So you're talking about, maybe there's like, if you can picture like, and not picture it happening because we're not calling it in, but picturing it in terms of what may have happened in the past, like in the Caribbean. The Caribbean has such beautiful waters, you know what I'm saying? Beautiful, pure, clean, joyous waters, but a hurricane fucking can come through it any which day, causing it to be fucking angry, and yet it still stays pure. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to say. So don't ever, like, my whole thing is, go ahead and label whatever the fuck you want to label anybody as. But my whole thing is, before you label a fucking person, see how clear and how pure, intentional their emotions are, their waters are. And I really feel that if you have a lot of self-respect, if you know what a respect is, and if you have a lot of self-preservation in terms of your energy, and you're really good at like the whole surveillance thing, the security, the protectiveness, like if you're really good at that shit and you believe that you are, and you're connected, that's especially so, connected to the God in all that you do, because my whole thing is, be that connected to the God that you get to stay connected to the God, and you act whenever he says to act, and you fucking release and relax whenever the fuck it is that you need to release and relax at. You know what I'm saying? That's how connected to the God you need to be. Number 72. You know what I'm saying? So the whole thing is, when you're told to act, because the whole thing is, maybe somebody, it's so interesting. You may be even questioned. You may be questioning yourself, why am I here? Or somebody else may be questioning you, why are you here, right? And a lot of you don't have the answers, you know what I'm saying? But also, just be until you're called into action, that's probably why you are there, is to be called into action at some point, you know what I'm saying, at some point in time. So my whole thing is, maybe this is a reading for the emergency response workers, and my whole thing is, when you don't listen and or you react towards an emergency response worker, I'm going to tell you right now, you're a lot so in the wrong, because of the fact that these people deal with a lot of fucking shit that the normal people cannot fucking deal with, cannot handle on a daily basis, which means they're on the verge and on the cusp of always fucking, PTSD, ready to break. And my whole thing is like, well, what came to me yesterday? I said to myself that, something with crying, because I think there might be crying that comes out. And I said to myself, oh, the saying that says, don't let them see you cry? I said to myself, I want them to see me cry. I do. I want them to see me cry, because my tears are a reminder to everybody else out there who is not connected with their emotions enough to say, you know what? There's purity within me. There's purity now outside of me. This is how you fucking declutter. And what did I say? I was laughing to myself because I was like, yo, I'd rather them see me cry. Oh, that's funny. That's what I said. I said, I'd rather them see me cry than them see my strength, or vice versa. Like, so I'd rather the quote unquote them see me cry before they ever get to see my strength. That's how much I literally am so about working, quote unquote undercover even, but working behind the scenes, where it's like, let that be my strength. You don't ever have to see that. But when I fucking rise to the occasion of which I am called to do, which is like an emergency responder, then may you not even fucking, those people that fucking drag you down or put you down or make you cry, may they not even fucking be able to see your strength, because that is a privilege to fucking see a miraculous strength come out of somebody who is super calm and cool and collected and just content. You know what I'm saying? To just be like alive and be around and just be just them, right? Like not fucking having to fucking, you know, not even having to even attract any type of attention. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the type of shit that I'm like, just like, yo, let a person fucking just be. And so many people are like, oh, you know, what is this person doing? All they do is relax. You have to take into account what they do in terms of what you can't do if you're with them. You know what I'm saying? And my whole thing is, if you ever go against somebody that has that amount of strength, you're out of your fucking mind. You really are. You're out of your fucking mind. And my whole thing is, as an emergency responder, and not a reactor, but a responder type of person, in a different way of what is traditionally meant to be said, I can tell you right now, I have made a decision that I am no longer going back from. This was this was a fucking huge thing that happened. That's what I'm saying. When it says don't be afraid, there's a huge fucking strength coming through that I realized yesterday through somebody else's actions, that my emergency responderness energy does not sway towards fucking protecting that person anymore, and or trying to have a good relationship, because even if I come from a purity essence of like, oh, you know, like, you know, you're supposed to love the person that created you, you're supposed to love, you know, I'm all about that. If you can have that, God bless. I know I don't have that. And the whole thing is, it's like, and I'm talking about emotionally, so we're talking about emotions, like we're talking about earth and air. We're talking about two different components of astrology. You know what I'm saying? We're like, they just don't mix. Like oil and vinegar doesn't fucking mix. You know what I'm saying? They're too far apart. They're too distant. You know what I'm saying? To even come together. And the whole thing is, even if they come together, you've just seen all too much fucking craziness. Like some people would be like, oh, but just believe and just. I don't fucking want to believe in that anymore, because my whole thing is, it's like, even if it were to happen, there's so much PTSD around all that bullshit that like literally was going on for way too long, that it would seemingly look like it's a fucking act. And I'm not about acting. I'm about the real deal. You know what I'm saying? Like imagine if every fucking emergency responder would just like act at their job. No one would be alive. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a rhyme and a reason for everything. There's a place and a purpose for everything. So like my whole thing is, this is life. This is real fucking life. Like if you're fucking around with a person in this real life that really could help you now and in the long run, maybe not in the way that you imagine it to be, but you've consistently fucked around with their emotions, especially when they are on the verge of fucking breaking all the time, that goes to show you that you're absolutely in the wrong, but also you have no respect, and there must be some other deep self-disrespect going on where there's no ability to respect another person, because you don't have the ability within and of yourself to respect yourself enough to fucking treat another human being as you wish to be treated, right? So again, there's a treatment issue that's going on here. There's somebody, and we're also in Leo season. So you're talking about mixing fire and air, bro. It's a bonfire. It's a bonfire. And and now I'm talking about bonfire where it reaches the heavens, and all due to somebody's fucking emotions. You know what I'm saying? That are A, they're not being heard. B, they're not being respected. Their word is not being taken as their word, as what they're saying. You know, the fucking shit that I fucking, like, what is it called? Experienced and even was a witness to, you know, an eyewitness to, was fucking disgusting yesterday, that I was just like, oh great, it's so disgusting that I know exactly, there's no back and forth anymore. There is a full throttle decision made, never fucking going back to what I thought could maybe work out, or to what I thought, you know, let's see where this goes, or da-da-da. No, full throttle, it's a fucking no. It's a fucking no. And that's so pure that it's like, it's like my actions and my life and my choices and my love and my laughter are now like, have all basically dismissed that. You know what I'm saying? Dismissed it, and are never going to, be, what's it called, a revolving around the situation that had me kind of in the midway cloudiness type of essence. So the whole thing is, if you find yourself in that scenario, I'm even releasing, I'm like burping right now as we speak, but like, like I'm super adamant about that, and I'm ready to go. You know what I'm saying? I'm very grateful that I freed myself. You know who you are. There's some shit that I wanted to talk about in terms of the podcast that I heard yesterday that was so fucking, it was so spot on, and it came through before, and the person that I was talking about, it was Tia Carrera. I didn't actually know about Tia Carrera as an actress at all. And she was talking about different things that were so enlightening that I also had to be ready for in terms of receiving. But it was just, so that was one of her things that she was like, I don't take anything for granted. Amen. That's how I live my life all throughout my life. And I think this is why I am able to survive, because I have, like, the first and foremost thing I never take for granted is love. And what I wanted to say here is, when you see hearts are God, in the number 72, in the Jewish religion. So the whole thing is, it's like, that's when that's when you can confirm or verify that you're pure, your intentions are pure, your loving intentions are pure, whether you are of the tough love type, or, failing love type, or, in like, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's definitely what wanted to come through before too. You might be seeing hearts, which is to choose love, but also to be the love that that really corresponds to the situation and not you. So, like, here's the thing. In Leo, this is crazy. Leo season is all about the heart, right? And it's about a courageous heart. So, again, with this card at a yang level coming out, don't be afraid, it's because there's something you're going to be called to do out of the courageousness of your heart to just fucking stand up for. But what I want to say here is, with the Leo energy, it's very interesting because it's very good to be, shiny and out loud and bright. But again, if you're a female, make sure that you do yourself a favor and not put that pressure on you to shine so fucking bright, and there's always, like, because the thing is, we're more of the moon, you know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is, give yourself permission to glow instead of shine bright like a fucking, sun god. And, like, you can shine bright like a sun god. And, like, to me, for instance, very interestingly enough, I'm gonna say Lady Liberty is kind of like a moon goddess, right? Where she has a crown of the sun around her head, but really she's more like a deeper green, which is more so of like, she's glows at night, right? That's what I'm trying to say. It's like she's cool to be glowing at night. Like, during the day she's cool and she's also well respected, but at night is like when you really have to when she really glows, when she's really at her best. And what I'm saying, thank you. That's what I'm trying to piece together. Women will be at their best if they accept that they only glow at night, right? And not only glow at night because you're allowed to have your, moment in the spotlight, this and that, but women really kind of need to shine their brightest at night. And that's a really good thing to be had. But I have a feeling that you're going to, that's a comfort zone, by the way. That's a comfort zone glow. But my whole thing is, I feel as if you're going to be called to do something that will make you stand in the fucking sunlight, if that makes any sense. Like, will state your claim in the day. So again, but this card also is in from the morning to midday, in terms of don't be afraid on a Sunday. So and especially this upcoming Sunday, I'm not going to even change that. So so again, to like, now, always, and forever, make your life a really positive series of choices and do the best that you can. And even if there's something that came fucking through yesterday and I can't remember what it was, the words were, are you unhappy? Okay. Are you depressed? Are you unhappy? Are you bored? And I don't know what the fucking fourth one was, but I think I took a picture of it somewhere. And I said to myself, truthfully speaking, I'm semi-happy, which is fine. I accept that. I'm never bored, which is, I accept that too. And it said something, are you depressed? I'm always fucking depressed, because, and especially in like Aquarius, I feel like Aquarius season, like the era of the Aquarius, the age of the Aquarius, and or Aquarius, you know, this time around, like the full moon, like, you're gonna fucking feel a little bit of what do they call it, a bout of depression? I forgot what the word is. You're gonna feel depression a little bit, and it's gonna be normal, because of the fact that you want to do, you wish you can change the fucking world, but you literally like, and you can, but it's slow, and it's slow, and it's gonna take time. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna take time, it's slow, and it may not be in the way that you want it to happen, but it's also like you being just livid. Like why don't people understand humanity, right, on a larger scale? And that's what the Aquarius is all about, humanity. So the whole thing is, it's like, you know, and how some things just don't fucking make sense. You know what I'm saying? So you could be, I've already claimed that a long time ago, and I've voiced it to a friend of mine, that I'm constantly like in depression, in depressive mode. And what's so funny is that, like, the whole, and here's what I want to say, I'm constantly in depressive mode because I can't beat asses, right? Like, if I could fucking beat somebody's fucking ass, I think I'd be a little bit happier. But my whole thing is, it's like you really can't. You can't have a smackdown with people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just saw like a cat, and it was so interesting in terms of the energy. There was one younger cat and one larger cat, and the gray and the larger cat was gray. And this all has to do with cat vibes too, because cat, like, I feel like that's the vibes that I'm actually like operating on, is a cat aspect, because cats don't give a fuck anymore. You know what I'm saying? And my whole thing is, so there was two cats, they were living in the same household. One of the younger cats went to stretch. I don't know if I shared this in my story yesterday, but one of the cats who was younger and obviously more mature or whatever, or like just didn't know or was fucking around, you don't know, but like he kind of sort of felt like he meant it, was he like basically made himself expand and get on his two back feet and was like about to fucking attack this gray cat, right? And lunge, right, at this gray cat. And you didn't know how it was going to go down. But this gray cat, who was bigger and seemed older, literally kind of gave him the far out shoulder, like as if I'm going to extend my arrow backwards, right? Like when you can kind of pull your arrow back. So he literally leaned away from him, right? To be like, all right, I see what you're doing. But what it is that, like, are you going to really fucking do it right now? Like, do you really have the fucking audacity, and, or like try to come at me? Like, it was like simultaneously, like, let's just really see what you're about to do right now. And so working with those energies, and they're so mute, right? That's what I love about cats. Like, you're never gonna, like, unless they're attacking one another or like, you know, whatever, mating or whatever, they're pretty mute. You know, animals are pretty mute. So it's all about energy. And literally, and so the smaller cat like attacked the bigger cat and like had both paws, both hands like around the cat's neck, right? And in one shot, thank you, Spirit, that was confirmation. In one shot, the bigger cat, like, who was giving a second to this other cat to be like, all right, like, take a second to think about this. Like, are you going to do it or are you not? You know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden, this cat takes this younger cat and fucking grabs a hold of him like humans. Like, literally, it was actually the caption of it on the reel was like, this was a super WWE match, right? So this fucking cat takes this other cat down, like, literally grabs a hold of this other cat, fucking spins it and fucking slams it down on the ground and like was just like, there, bitch, and walks away. And I was like laughing so hard because I was like, dude, like, cats are vicious, you know what I'm saying? But also, we're not realizing that we're in the water tiger year of the Chinese calendar, okay? And there's gonna be emotions that come up from the tiger, hence the water tiger, you know? And there's gonna be a lot of emotions, and the water, whoever is born in a water tiger year, I feel, is gonna be called to do what they have to do when shit goes awry with some sort of emotions. Like when things aren't easy, you know what I'm saying? Like when things, I don't know how to express it, but when things are seemingly what's it called? Uneven, right? When things are off fucking balance, things don't fucking make sense. I feel as though the water tiger is coming through like a motherfucking, like a Chinese zodiac mafia, bro. Like, I feel like that's how it's coming through. It's like, they don't even give a shit. You know what I'm saying? There's another thing that, I'm not going to go into it because I think like it'll take way too long. But follow me on my stories, because when I post a story on Instagram, like that shit like has a lot to do with the energies of that day, possibly, unless it's just funny. You know what I'm saying? Or unless there's a lesson to be taught, because I kind of write like mini articles there. And so the whole thing is, it's like, you know, it's just, I feel like, and thank you, Spirit, I feel like a water tiger is about to be rocked. Okay, that rocked just came through. And so that's the whole thing. It's like when you rock somebody's boat, that has pure intentions and that has self-love and self-respect for not only themselves and others, and yet no one's coming to the fucking heroic type of, no one's backing this person up. No one's fucking, no one's seeing the worth in this person or the value in this person or the appreciation in this person. It's like when there's a lack of that, a person's gonna fucking notice it eventually. A person's gonna see it, but they're not gonna take it. I can tell you that right now. And my whole thing is, this isn't a power of, oh, this is to reclaim my appreciation of myself, or reclaim, like the power in this, like, it's not a power position anything. It's not a power trippy anything. It's about, this is what needs to be done for the situation at hand. But if you mess with nature, and this is huge, if you mess with nature in terms of going to correct something that really should not be corrected, okay? And yet a person that is so connected to the God, to the number 72, the person that goes from 0 to 72 in a pure fucking way, if you stand in the way of that being like, because sometimes you're not supposed to mess with nature. What's supposed to happen is supposed to happen. And if you get involved and you mess with nature, things can fucking erupt even worse for the person that fucking tried to save the day, quote unquote, like surpass the judgment of the God. to where it can really hinder them for a very long time. So my whole thing is, and there was a beautiful example of, like, I used this, I think, at one point too, where there was a diver, and this is all about waters too. And actually, it's so funny. Oh my God, it's crazy. Where the guy dove, which I was super impressed by and super surprised by. He went deep sea diving by, like, some fucking rocks and shit. Like, it looked like this area that he actually went diving in, which is nuts. But what I think, I forgot what the name of the episode was, but it was something about, like, either it was like a squid is my friend or something, or an octopus that is my friend. I don't know. Whatever. Also, major game changer because it's about the 8, right? 8 is the number that we're in August. So that's, Leo season. Huge. Infinity, right? And he said something that he was explaining that he was an observer to the energies of the octopus, even though... But he, like, had self-control, and self-control, by the way, is also a huge, I'm a huge fan of. Self-control is huge. And the whole thing is, and that's also self-protecting, people don't realize. And doing something about something when you don't actually, or when you're actually not doing something about something, if that makes any sense. So, because it's actually a doing. To have self-control is a doing of sorts. So, long story short, this guy was explaining that even though he felt like he became friends with the octopus, he still had to realize that he was a part of this natural world, that he was an intruder on, right? And so he was saying that basically, like, even though him and the octopus, like, became friends, he had to let the octopus do what the fuck the octopus does in the oceans. So, like, if the octopus is attacked, you let him fucking be. If the fucking, if the octopus, like, you, like, basically also, how, like, if he's being chased, you let him be. You don't save him, And there are times, this actually comes full throttle, because, around full throttle, because there are times that I feel as though, families, and this has a lot to do with Warren Buffett too, that I've been kind of thinking about. And, and I put myself in shoes of, like, a parent too. Like, I don't fucking just, like, and I know that the energy is different when you become a parent, but I've been my own parent for a very fucking long time. So it's not like there should be any fucking different, honestly speaking, unless I obviously have the feeling of having a child come out of my fucking vag, but that doesn't mean anything, because just like a father doesn't have to have a child to be a father, he literally can be, he can take on father-like energies because he just understands how a father should be. You know what I'm saying? Or, or follows that trend of how a father should be, or things like that, right? And so what I'm saying is, like, fathers biologically don't have to have fucking children in order to be a father. They just become a father when a child pops out of a fucking female's vag, right? So my whole thing is, it's the same thing. So if you're trying to come at me like, oh, you don't know because you're not a parent, I do know, because I'm my own self-parent, and I've been my own self-parent for a very long time in terms of self-responsibility, right? So, long story short, and somebody had mentioned that to me a long time ago, which I appreciate, because I never really saw that until they mentioned it to me. And I was like, wow. I said, yeah, that's kind of, like, honestly super true. I never realized that about myself. So I appreciate that coming out of that person's mouth when it came out. In terms of how they saw me, even at a young age, they're like, yo, you would always just, like, know how to take care of yourself, right? And and maybe that has a lot to do with not wanting to get in anybody's way, being harmonious and just fucking doing you, but also being free. You don't know what the fuck, I don't know, whatever. It could be a mix of both worlds, both, the sad and the glad, that type of thing. But long story short, I was talking about being a parent to, after the octopus thing. I don't know, I lost my fucking train of thought, guys, sorry. But basically, that whole thing, about Warren Buffett. Like, Warren Buffett is the most wealthiest person, in America, right? And God bless. I would never hate on anybody having fucking any type of large ass money, because God bless, you fucking did something damn right if you're able to fucking do that. You're very much in the know. I am, and that takes work, by the way. So, long story short, I would never knock anybody. But there is something that I ran into where he said something like, yeah, my money isn't going to like my children, you know? And I was like, okay, like I understood that from like a standpoint of like, you know, you want to be the tough, loving father, but actually a father is really not even supposed to be tough, loving. Naturally, he's supposed to be really fucking giving, you know? But that's first and foremost of what I understood, right? The father is supposed to be the good guy. I don't know. I don't care what anybody else says. If like females can't handle the father being, you know, the good guy, I'm the bad guy all the time, and I clean that shit. And my whole thing is more women need to clean that shit, because it actually furthers the happiness of your whole entire family, and it allows you to know your role a lot clearer, so that things can be sought out and evolved ever so clearly and ever so greatly, because obviously, you know, to be loved by your own child, that just is a normal thing. But the whole thing is, it's like, if you want your child to be successful in society, the female needs to be a little bit more fucking tough lovish. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I'm such a huge fan of, you know, having to really like hone in on holding back my energies, because of the fact that we have to put so much training and so much strictness into our own kids as females, so that they can prosper better, so that even if it breaks our fucking hearts, it's just what we have to do, because we're stronger at that. We touch their lives through their fucking soul, through their heart. You know what I'm saying? And we don't have to be so strict in a negative like traditional way. We can literally just fucking talk to the kids, just to be like, this is what you need to fucking do, you know? And so if you have a, you know, female as a mother, obviously, well, it's not obvious actually, but if you have a female as a mother, you know, they haven't been strict, and that's not their strong point. That's where I had to come in and do my own parenting, right? Like, I have to be strict with myself. Like, I can't expect anybody else, and I'm not even going to blame anybody else for being, oh, you were this way. Like, I'm not going to get hung up on that ever in my life. But my whole thing is, it's like, if you don't have a strict mother, that's where there was a problem in your life, which kind of maybe steered you in the wrong direction. But you have the power to steer yourself in the right direction by literally just like actually putting yourself on a more stricter, I guess, like lifestyle, right? And when I say strict, I mean self-control, self-love, you know, working on all of those fucking invisible, you know, emotions, so to speak, you know, so that they don't get out of hand, and that you can actually work with others a lot more in a teamwork type setting, rather than, oh, it just be about you. Because we don't realize, and this really could look like a fucking feminine haterade right now, but at the same time, it's also to give you guys a little bit more strict thinking, you know what I'm saying? Which is, or strict acting, which is, you know, a lot of us, what I wanted to say before the haterade thing is, like, a lot of women find it like if they're not, like, I don't know how to say it. It's like they want to just stay of princess mentality, and that's why they want things to just like work for themselves only, and they literally want they literally just like want things to come to them, which is fine, because it's how it works. But is your energy nasty as fuck and just like not willing to work at all, not willing to meet the universe halfway? You know what I'm saying? You have to think about those things. Like, you have to really kind of like, if God gave you all these blessings, like, you know, your limbs and good health and all that jazz, like, you need to support that by knowing that you are as beautiful as you are. It is beautiful where you are. You know what I'm saying? And you need to put in a little bit of the work to kind of show that respect back. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like us living here on earth. Like, the way you show respect back is like you do what you know how to do best right now, which is, let's say it's like dividing the trash with the recycling. You know what I'm saying? We don't know better than that, really, but it's a start. We're actually trying, you know? And so, long story short, there was definitely something that wanted to come out way more better than that in terms of, like, you know, women being a haterade, and I forgot what direction it was in, but there's just like a lot coming through. So, and I also know that I'm still purging from you know, the strength that I had to use yesterday. So I feel like, like, honestly speaking, this is a good podcast, and it's pretty good. It's pretty interesting, but it can be a lot stronger. But my strength was used yesterday for a whole different fucking, you know, ball game. And so I just wanted to say the spirit wants me to, spirit wants me to, well, the greater spirit, right? Wants me to reiterate, don't be afraid. Do what you need to do, even though it looks like it is not the right thing to do. And don't be afraid to literally also just speak once and not again, right? Because people will fucking want to egg you on. People will do shit to, like, make you look crazier than you are. And it's like, you have to read into those energies. Just don't be afraid of doing what you have to do just one time. Doing also, and just literally going back to relaxing just one time. Don't be afraid to fucking voice your opinion just one time. And leave it at that. That's it. That's all that they fucking deserve. They didn't even fucking deserve the first time around, honestly speaking. But since you have to get shit off of your chest, and a lot of us don't have therapists and don't have this and don't have that, you have to voice what is on your, what's laying heavy on you. You have to voice it. So whether it's like in a negative way, in a stern way, in a crying way, just fucking do it. When I started out, by the way, I remember, I'm just going to go back to this, and I think that I'll just end with this, is that and this came up very interestingly enough for me. Oh, thank you, Spirit. This came up very interestingly enough for me, like, very recently, where when I started out working a 9 to 5, at a office, right? I was the office manager, but I was a silent office manager. I wasn't really like, I never really cared to, like, put people in their place or direct people unless I'm getting paid for it or whatever, I'll do it. But, like, my whole thing is, like, I never really cared to, like, be that way. And and I guess it was, like, the protector, because again, the office assistant or the office manager is always, like, a protector. I, like, read that in a book one time, and I'm like, that is so true. So the whole thing is, we hired a person that I was, you know, again, I was silenced too, but I was also, like, you know, like, watching and being observant to, like, how they maneuver. And I literally was just like, I've had it. Like, I'm done. Like, I don't know, because she was like, I don't know, she was, like, seen as, like, so much better than us or whatever, and, like, not a part of the team. And, you know, I understand she was older, and I understand that, but she was, like, a newbie, and, like, I'm like, where in the fuck do you ever, like, like, that's the whole thing. I was like, where in the fuck do you ever come into a new fucking environment thinking that you're the best and you have so much to fucking say and, like, da-da-da-da. And I can't stand people like that, because you need to fucking learn how things are done first, traditionally speaking, and then add your fucking points to it. That's exactly how to be more aligned and more harmonious. You can't you can lose your job like that, P.S. You know what I'm saying? But this chick came in and, like, you know, I understand my boss liked her and this and that. And by the way, if my boss listens to this, I'm friends with him. Like, it has nothing against him. It's just fucking, you know, quote unquote office politics. I love him, actually. He's such a great guy. So my whole thing is, but it was like, it was kind of maybe my like, I don't know, like, maybe there was something that was, like, of a threat that I was sensing, and then I was like, oh, this is a hell no, right? and we started doing meetings, right? So I guess, like, and that's the whole thing, that's like a fucking comedy, because I feel like we started doing the meetings because we fucking had this person come on, so now, like, we have to all change up, like, toward, like we had to cater shit towards her to, like, make ourselves look more professional, like, it was, like, because, like, before she came on, it was, like, you know, it was youngins that were working there, you know what I'm saying, but getting shit done, you know? Because we're obviously pretty okay with technology, you know what I'm saying? So, but this person that came in was like, you know, a little bit older than him, so like he had to maybe like just, you know, pivot and maneuver. And I understood that, whatever, like I understand everything. But at one of those meetings, something fucking was said, and I just like, I like couldn't handle it. Like I was like, and the thing is, I came out of my face, and knowingly so, it wasn't just like something like reactive. I'm like, I have to say something here, but I was so silenced that, and I was so emotional about it, like in terms of like, you motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? That, and I didn't know how to speak for myself at that point. Like I was like literally just out of college, like literally like super fresh out of college, still a little kid, you know what I'm saying? Like people are still kids at that point. And even though if I handled myself in a mature way and, you know, look mature and I'm an old soul, like all that shit, like I'm still, at the end of the day, I'm still like a younger kid, you know? So, long story short, I was like I was at this fucking round table, and I was like, ugh, and like, I remember one of my teammates, I'm gonna call my teammate, it was like my office mates or whatever, like my cubicle mate, right? Right next to me, he was like, so he was younger than me, and by like a year or two, friends with him also, so in case he listens to this podcast, like, it is what it is, and he'll remember this too, where I was like, I knew I was going to be embarrassed about this, because I didn't know how to express myself at that point either, right? And I knew also that in an office setting, you don't go fucking emotional. You just don't do it, you know? But it was kind of me like having to break out of my fucking shell to be like, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, I took on as much as I could take on, and at this meeting, I was like, okay, Friday, I'm gonna have to fucking say something. Like, I literally was just like, that, like, that's it. Like, I have to fucking say something, because this person is really fucking bullshit, you know, like, I don't know, full of bullshit. I didn't like her, whatever the fuck, and it was just, but it wasn't like me not liking her. It was like, she wasn't like a good fit, and she was like taking a lot of like, you know, like for instance, like me and my, whatever, this is a side note, me and my office mate were like literally I feel like I'm going British when I say that. We literally were like there for a long time, and we like never got the respect like that all of a sudden she fucking got, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, what the fuck is this? And again, not to be, because I understand my I don't think I knew it wasn't intentional from my boss's standpoint. And I know that he was excited about her, so like it, and you know, in terms of the growth of the business or whatnot, and I understand that completely. However, the growth of the business also involves people getting along with people, because you can't grow without that happening. And long story short, I came out, and it was like, I literally just hit puberty, like everything was cracking, and I just was like, I was like fighting to get it out of my system, and it was just like, basically like I was wanting to explode it, but it was like, and I was trying to speak, and I just couldn't speak, and I was like embarrassed, but I had to do what this card says, don't be afraid. I had to do what I had to do, because that's what I was getting. Like, I have to fucking return back to work every fucking day and deal with this bullshit. Like, no, I'm gonna fucking say what I have to say, and if I get fired, I get fired, like, whatever. But, like, because, you know, it was still, like, at the beginning of my career, like, what am I, you know, it's like, and I knew that I had worked my value up enough to fucking speak my mind. So, it's not like, you know, my boss thought that I had an ill intention, but I can tell you something right now, he definitely thought I had ill intentions at many different points, because of the fact that I was just trying to expand his mind, but also protect, you know, like what we had going on in terms of also having to you know, like being there physically in terms of taking a place for a office manager that wasn't there, you know, all the time physically. So like I felt like I had to, you know, do the best that I could to kind of like alleviate the situation a little bit. And so anyhow, that was the story where it was just like I literally was like cracking, like it was like puberty communication coming out of me. Like I literally like hit fucking puberty at that point. That's how it felt coming out of my thyroid. And like I remember my office mate was just like, he was like, "Yo T, what the fuck?" I was like, I know, I don't even know what the fuck happened there, but I was like, I just had to fucking say it, like, I don't know, like, and I knew that shit was, like, I knew that shit was gonna come out embarrassing, but, like, I just had to do it. And guess what? Now that I put in that work, that was a part of my growth, you know, and I put in the work, and now I'm at the stage where I'm not afraid, you know what I'm saying? I'm not afraid. I overcame a lot of obstacles that, you know, normal people would be like, oh, you don't do that, and you don't do this, and da-da-da. And it's like, okay, fine, let me stop. Just like when you enter a new fucking environment, you're gonna stop, you're gonna see how it works. I do the same thing. I stop, I think about these things to be like, pros and cons. Does this make sense to be this way? Does it not make sense to be this way? Well, then how the fuck, you know, if it doesn't make sense to be this way, then how, you know, what do I do to fucking grow us out of this scenario? You know what I'm saying? And so the whole thing, like to basically be a rebel, I guess, and just rectify the situation, rebalance the situation. Like, you know, a lot of the times, like, I love Judge Judy. Judge Judy is a fucking yo, I love her, and she is, God bless, because that bitch made money off of being a bitch. And the whole thing is, it's like, but she's also in the very much so right, because she's super well loved, super well intentioned, and she is about the scenario at hand, and not about, oh, I like this person over this person, or I like, you know what I'm saying? Like, very just fucking balanced, you know what I'm saying? And it could be more so that she has like a masculine side working for her benefit, but that's what I'm also trying to say. Females have to kind of not overdo their masculine side, but make sure to not get in the way of anybody's masculine side that is working for that person at hand, of which is doing the work, but also that is doing the work for the multiple people behind them, which could be invisible and visible, right? So you don't get in the way of that. You just fucking observe, you know? And if you don't, and that's the whole thing. So nature will have its course. I will have my own course, you know what I'm saying, in terms of maybe that's happening in the future, in terms of having my own course, not only just my own path to take, but also maybe offering a course. But you guys let me know if you'd be interested in that. You know, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just one of those things. So this was a lecture of just not being afraid. And maybe maybe my course would be just like a lecturing of sorts of, like, you know, different things that come to mind. But don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to fucking rock the boat. Don't be afraid to, like, you know, you know, do the yin to your yang, or your yang to your yin. You know what I'm saying? Don't be afraid to do that, because that is the midway happy way. That is how you make it beautiful where you are. There has to be, you know, and one other thing, if you fucking work, right? If you fucking work to put in the boundaries, you make sure those boundaries work for you, and you make sure to fucking protect those boundaries as well. So my whole thing is, if somebody comes through not knowing the work that you fucking put in to put in those boundaries, and yet they don't have your back on that, they need to go. Because boundaries are set for safety, boundaries are set for peace, boundaries are set for, and a prolongingness of all of that. So my whole thing is, if there's somebody against you in that way, where you're actually, like I said, you're connected to the God, you know, you're following your intuition, you're following your gut, you know, you're putting those fucking boundaries down for a reason. and somebody within your fucking circle is trying to fucking take down those boundaries for other people that don't fucking deserve the boundaries to be taken down for, I'm telling you right now, they're getting involved in nature's work, and that shit is definitely bad karma. And my whole thing is, at that point, it's like you have to cut yourself off from the fucking people that are about the bad karma, because of the fact that if you keep going around in circles with them, if you don't make that decision, you're going to be involved in their bad karma, and you're going to feel like you have to do something for them all the time, when really, coming back around full circle to this reading again, the life is a series of choices, and that was their choice to, I'm not saying even back me up. I don't need anybody backing me up. I'm just saying, observe, stand your ground, be on the backside of things, and just fucking just take back your energy from it and observe and question, why is this happening? Well, there must be a reason. What are the reasonings for this? The pros and the cons. Think, you know what I'm saying? But the whole thing is, people are way too impatient, and females especially. I don't know why. And maybe because we're just of the slower type, so we're just all let's get shit done, and I'm enthusiastic about that too. But the whole thing is, it's like a lot of our energy needs to go towards patience. So if you don't have patience with somebody, you take it up with them. You don't take it up with the scenario at hand of where the boundary was set, right? Like, the boundary was set on a certain, scene. Leave the boundary set there, and then come back to the person and say, hey, I don't like how you fucking set that boundary. Okay, let's talk about it, and then let's, again, see if we should take that boundary down. But for right now, the boundary was set, right? So the whole thing is, it's like, there shouldn't be an emergency in any type of discussion type of thing, but really, when it comes down to it, when somebody is acting at an emergency mode, that means that it's very importante, right? And you fucking leave that shit be, until you relax, you realize what the fuck is going on, and you are willing to even listen or hear out that person if they're actually willing to give that to you. But at this point, I'm not willing to give fuck that everything, and I've given everything to the point where I haven't seen a return on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no return. And if anything, while I'm waiting for the return, I've been literally been attacked all the fucking time for fucking just, for what life seems to look like, when really what it's not about at all. But my whole thing is, maybe it is about it at all, So my whole thing is, it's like, we're not doing that. We're just not having that anymore. I think it's honestly, we've cut those fucking cords. Amen. And thank you to Archangel Michael. Thank you to, the God for cutting those cords, and not being afraid of cutting those cords, right? That's a huge thing. That's just what it is. It has to be, for the goodness of yourself first, and then the goodness of everybody else. But also, and a lot of people might be like, oh, that's selfish too. No, it's not selfish when you have self-respect. It's not selfish when you have self-love. It's selfish when you don't have self-love and self-respect and are trying to do something fucking for yourself, right? Like, it doesn't make any sense. That whole energy doesn't make any sense. It's like, you don't even know, like, if you knew what self-love and self-respect is, you would actually you would actually honor it, and you would do more of the things to feed it, rather than fucking just give it away, and rather than just, trying to say that, oh, you know what love is, when you really fucking don't. You don't know what love is. You know what I'm saying? Because also, it's just a whole bunch of other shit. You can't be the leader of love. You can't be a love leader if you don't have self-respect or self-love, and not follow your own fucking intuition. You know what I'm saying? And also, not be able to have that self-control, have that self-compassion, have that self protection, right, of sorts. Like, if you have not put any work into that, step the fuck aside. That's all. That's how nature fucking works, because the people that do have it need to fucking show up to that fucking scenario, do the work that they need to do, and fucking bounce. That's it. That's just how it works. So the whole thing is, it's like, thank God, I'm not angry at anybody. I know I did my part. in terms of, what happened to me prior to this reading today. But the whole thing is, I'm coming at you, transmitting to you that it's like, it's when the Lordy says, stand the fuck up for yourself and stand the fuck up for a situation, and you have, really kind of made sure to cover all your bases. It's like, am I really fucking doing this right now? Because I literally could be sitting and chilling and doing like almost nothing or doing something better. You know what I'm saying? Also, Aquarius era, by the way, this just hit me. It has a whole lot to do with sitting and fucking chilling, because Aquariuses are humanitarians that will do the big fucking work, and then they fucking need a big amount of time to relax, to reboot, to resituate, to fucking ponder, and be airy-fairy. There's a person that I listen to that she says, I just want to do nothing, and I just want to lie on the couch and just like stare at the wall. They're like, they need to be imagining shit, in a good way, or like how to help the universe and how to help this world and how to help themselves. Like there's an imaginary effect to it. So like when somebody says, you're not doing enough, you're not, by the way, sorry for the noise, but it just is what it is, natural, right? When somebody says you're not doing enough, or you're not doing this and that, like you might not have to do a lot of stuff, like in terms of your in terms of this era. You might not. I mean, you might have to do a lot of it at a projected amount of time, like for instance, like to just like break through and be forceful about it and then relax, you know what I'm saying? Like bust through and then like do your thing and then step back. You might have to do that. That's the type of work that you might have to do. That's why I call it emergency responder, because what does emergency responder do? They get a call and they fucking just go. You know what I'm saying? That they answer the call, they go, they do what they have to do, and then they fucking hopefully have the time to fucking rest in between their fucking emergency sessions. But if they don't, you bitches are crazy in terms of male and female for not fucking realizing of how much work that they actually fucking put into this life, because of the fact that it takes a lot of energy. And I'm just gonna say, God bless to the fucking female EMTs, but all that are super helpful, but also super blessings to the masculines that do the EMTs, because I feel like they can handle that energy better. But the females, honestly, they're like double angels for doing that shit, because I don't know how the fuck they handle it, especially when it has a lot to do with emotional shit sometimes, because you're talking about fucking human to human, you know what I'm saying? Human to human, like pain, so if you can stay detached, God bless, you're using your masculine side. But my whole thing is, it's like, and maybe it's not just masculine side, maybe it's actually feminine side when you're staying detached. I have to think about that. I don't know what I meant there, but or maybe it's both. Both can be detached. But I'm like just trying to think about, I think it might be, I think it's your feminine aspect of yourself. If you could stay detached, that fucking shit is hot, because obviously that's why that book is there, Why Men Love Bitches. So it's like it's like an enigma, like, oh, you're a female, so you're meant to be attached, but if you're playing the opposite of being detached from it, then you're like cool as shit. You know what I'm saying? So the whole thing is, it's like that's an interesting scenario. So that's also has a lot to do with the reading, because it's like, as a female, just stay fucking detached, stay in your own fucking lane. Like, there's really no reason to help each other out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like, females can definitely do things independently on their own a lot of the time. But sometimes when we're in like, for instance, also, we don't realize we're still in the pandemic. Excuse me, just like a person may not realize that they're still fucking grieving. It's the same fucking shit. By the way, I'm gonna have to get off now because it is just time. But thank you guys for tuning in. I will be posting this up right now, as soon as I can, and you can hear that reading later. But feel free to reach out with any questions or concerns that you have. Actually, to be honest with you, I'm like, I appreciate concerns, but I don't need any more concerns. Don't need it, because I already know them. And I can already, like, see, like, oh, where you might not like shit, but I don't care. I honestly don't care. So if you have a concern, feel free to write it out, but I will not be responding to it because I may not even read it. That's how detached I'm staying from anybody's fucking care. Like I said, like, if you want to label me a certain way, go ahead and label me, but you better be a labeler in your own house. You know what I'm saying? So that has a lot to do with concerns too. So it's like you're trying to label somebody one way, like, oh, you shouldn't have done this because, you know, it's that. It's a different type of labeling. So don't label nothing. Be open-minded when you listen to these. And honestly, take it from a purity standpoint in terms of feel out my heart. Don't fucking think about it. You know what I'm saying? And of course, think about it. I'm not saying, you know, think about everything. You know, I always say to think about everything. But my whole thing is, first of all, I shouldn't even be, like, teaching this in terms of, like, if you don't know, don't. If you have a problem, the thing is, take your self-empowerment back and fucking move on. Honestly, you don't have to listen to me at all. And that's what I recommend that you do, because I'm not going to be teaching anybody about common sense anymore. That's all. So anyhow, take care. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye. Enjoy your day.